for WWE Raw this week. That is an actual rating for WWE Raw, when BC said for years that given the trajectory of this company and how bad these shows have been for years now, I said it wouldn't be long till they hit a 1.5, and they've actually done this previous. But the summer of Cena in SummerSlam gave them a bit of a boost. And everybody said, well, see, this is the rebound WWE needed. The summer of Cena will solidify them into a 1.718-ish. At the very least, bare minimum, 1.718. The summer of Cena, SummerSlam, will boost them till around 1.718, at least till WrestleMania, where they can totally regroup and maybe see 2.0 again, 2.1 in the ratings. And BC said, nah, summer of Cena, SummerSlam, you can call it WrestleMania SummerSlam if you want. If you're producing bad shows, that 1.9 will dip to a 1.8, and then it'll dip to a 1.7, and then to a 1.6. And before this year is even out, before we end 2021, you will see 1.5 and below. And BC was the only one talking about these numbers because everybody else said, nah, that's never going to happen, man. They're not going to see 1.5 again this year. And then other people said, oh, ratings don't matter, man. It's just numbers. Let's just relax and enjoy the show. Oh, numbers matter. The numbers tell the network if this show is working or not. They tell the network if a show needs to be moved to another night, moved to another channel, or removed completely. 1.5 before the year is even out. In fact, we're not even into the middle of November yet, and they're already pulling a 1.5. But it's like Monday Night Football, man. There's 17 fucking weeks of Monday Night Football. What are you telling me? That for 4 months out of a 12-month calendar year, they have an excuse to pull in poor numbers? They have a mulligan for 4 months out of the year, and when it's not Monday Night Football, we have to talk about NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball playoffs. After the 4 months of Monday Night Football, we have to talk about football playoffs. Presidential debates, presidential speeches, holidays. If it's up for everybody that defends the bullshit that we're watching every single Monday night, WWE has an excuse, a mulligan, for basically 40 weeks out of a 52-week calendar year. For 40 weeks, we can come up with an excuse. A speech, a holiday, a playoff, a big sporting event. Or maybe we stop with the excuses and we just say the show is not good enough. Because there is no reason that a 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers team versus a 3-6 Chicago Bear team should be whooping that ass over what should be an amazing WWE Raw show with the talent that they should have had. The creativity that should be putting into this product. But they don't have the talent anymore because Vince McMahon threw them all to the wayside, cut them, released them, fired them. They don't have the creativity because Vince McMahon doesn't put the time, the effort, an ounce of energy into any of these shows. So because of that, of course, people are going to go to Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Chicago Bears. Like either of these teams even fucking matter right now in the overall picture. Bears are fucking done. One more loss and that's solidified. Steelers have to kind of run a gauntlet over the next 8 to 9 games. There's no reason I'm going to put that as the excuse that they pulled a 1.5. How about the fact that it wasn't a good show? You literally took away Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Alistair Malachi Black, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. The Mickey Jameses, the Ember Moons that should be on that show. You take away all this awesome talent. And then you put in The 24/7 championship runaround catering crusader circus. And you have 5-6 roll-ups in a match. You have Corey Graves getting the title. Byron Saxton. Because you gave away, you cut, you released, you fired amazing talent that could help you if you gave them the time of day, could help you pull in amazing ratings, amazing numbers by giving you captivating television, captivating segments, captivating moments. The wrestlers that you released over the last 6 months at least, those are the wrestlers, the superstars that could have given you what this company desperately needs, captivating television. And you gave them away because you want to run out the catering crusaders. You want to giggle and laugh at Byron Saxton winning championships. This is a game to Vince McMahon, and we're all a joke to him. He doesn't care if we buy pay-per-views or merchandise. He's getting big-time money from the networks, from the streaming services. We're peanuts. That's why they're giving away shirts on WWEshop.com. Basically, practically, giving away shirts. That's why they're not putting an ounce of effort or time or energy or creativity into their pay-per-views lately. The writing's on the wall. They already got the big payday from Peacock. Peacock! Peacock! They don't give a fuck if you get it now. They already got paid. They're gonna give you the bare minimum run-of-the-mill bullshit on these pay-per-views. They're not even gonna give any effort into booking these pay-per-views. Look at look at Extreme Rules. It went on the air and the card wasn't even completed yet. It had literally no build even on paper going into it. No match at Extreme Rules was extreme. Only one match at the last second, the week of Extreme Rules, was actually called Extreme Rules. Other than that, no stipulations, no nothing. Survivor Series, you wouldn't know it, it's next Sunday. This week on social media, they announced the card, the champions versus champions, in the 5-on-5s for the men and the women. On social media, they didn't even try to get creative and do something fun on television in the last several weeks. Nope. They waited to the last minute and announced everything on social, and then you wonder why people can't get excited about the Survivor Series! The 4th biggest pay-per-view of the year, behind Mania, SummerSlam, and Rumble. And it doesn't feel like the 4th biggest pay-per-view. It is literally a crying shame what they did to these pay-per-views. Survivor Series is nothing more than a pile of steaming crap. Shit! Vince doesn't care anymore. You take away Karrion Kross and Keith Lee and people like that recently, and now we have Byron Saxton winning the Fruit Roll-Up Championship. Right after, of course, a Ninja, a Corey. You got fucking Shelton and Cedric chasing after this fucking Target Toy Championship. They're not the Hurt Business anymore. They're the shit business. They're out of business, as one of my AMP unit members said. Within the last 24 hours, they're out of business. And they're chasing around, right? That's one of their big segments. Because you don't have the superstars anymore. That is like replacing Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers. Replacing Aaron Rodgers with Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel is now your new quarterback for the Packers. Just one problem. He's gonna get crushed by any NFL defense. You don't replace Aaron Rodgers with Steve Urkel because that would be fucking stupid. You don't replace Karrion Kross and Keith Lee with the Catering Crusader Fruit Roll-Up Championship because that would be stupid. But that's what we're doing. Right? That's what the fuck we're doing. I'm breaking shit in here as it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, we are traveling today, but I had to talk about this with my unit, bruh. How is this not an eye-opener that we have dropped to the 1.5s yet again? And there was no big competition, bro. Pittsburgh, Chicago, on a run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-season Monday Night Football game. And that's the reason that Raw pulled a 1.5? And the third hour drastically got crushed. They went from a mid 1.6 in the first hour to hour number 2 being at a low 1.6, and the third hour pulled a 1.3. So how the fuck did the third hour get crushed so bad? You say, wow, it was Owens versus Rollins. They gave them over half an hour. Wouldn't that captivate? No, there's a little issue that I said in yesterday's review for the Raw show. And what did I tell you guys? I said we've seen Rollins and Owens 67 times in the last 5 years. How the fuck is that captivating? We have seen Owens turn face and heel 4, 5, 6 times already in 5 years. Because they have failed to book him correctly, so he just doesn't connect anymore. So in order to try to connect, they're trying everything in their arsenal, right? They're throwing fucking baloney at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Throwing darts and any viable option that dart lands into. Throw the dart. It landed on heel. Hey, let's turn Owens heel again. We got nothing else for him. But when you book somebody like shit for the last 2 months because he might go to AEW, he might sign a contract with AEW, so we see him in 30-second segments getting beat up by Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. And then we see him in a 30-second segment where he's stunnering Ninja Tozawa and he doesn't even get a word in on the mic. When you're booking somebody like an idiot or so cluelessly, mind-bogglingly stupid, and then you finally put him in a main event for a half an hour, there's gonna be a shit ton of people that ain't gonna give a fuck. I said that in yesterday's vid, the review, and I didn't even have the review numbers, or the rating numbers at that point, I should say. The ratings weren't even in, and I told you guys that doesn't captivate. It's like a wrestling match. You could see an amazing wrestling match at the local bingo hall with Billy Buttfuck McGee and Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer, special guest referee Luigi Lugnuts, and special enforcer Wally Walnuts. This is a show that needs to have captivating, larger-than-life superstars and amazing, captivating storylines culminating in a badass feud and a match at a pay-per-view. This company lost its way. They don't follow that philosophy anymore. The basic fundamentals of pro wrestling, out the fucking window. There's none of that anymore. It's done. And Vince McMahon laughs to the bank with all his stooges. Triple H is right there with him. Don't think Triple H is off. Don't let him off the hook. He's a yes man. Johnny Laurinaitis, Brucey Pritchard, Kevin Dunn, Nick Khan, not Tony, Nick. Vince McMahon's right-hand ass kisser. All of them are laughing to the bank with Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Don't just blame Brucey Pritchard with Vince. No. Vince McMahon should be the sole blame either which way. As Owens just recently said, literally just recently said in an interview, another wrestler, this is about 47 wrestlers by now, have tried to tell everybody it doesn't matter what yes man is adding and contributing to Vince McMahon's decision. The final say is always Vince McMahon. Owens just talked about how he was supposed to go to NXT for a long run before going back to the main roster. That was literally the plan with creative and everything. And Vince McMahon put a halt to it. That was Owens' words. Owens said, the bottom line is it is Vince McMahon who makes the final call. And he is the one that halted his NXT run. So of course, you can throw the yes men under the bus. We do all the time. Wrestlers do all the time. Wyndham Rotunda is going to open up some can of worms, hopefully, about Brucey and Johnny. But at the end of the day, if Vince McMahon is still in charge, it doesn't matter if Kevin Dunn, Brucey Pritchard, Johnny Laurinaitis, Triple H, they all get booted. Vince McMahon will still be in charge, and you will still be getting this bullshit. And that 1.5 rating will soon creep to a 1.4, a 1.3, a 1.2, and soon AEW is going to be passing that son of a bitch on the highway. And everybody that said AEW isn't real competition, well, when they beat Monday Night Raw, and they're not even on Mondays, which is the best night of television on the week for audiences. If AEW passes Raw on a damn Wednesday, then everybody can shut the fuck up. and realize what BC has been saying all along. This company is in absolute tragic turmoil. Can it be fixed? Can the train be put back on the tracks? Hell no, mofo! Not now. Not with Vinnie Mac in charge. VKM is sent out to destroy what he created. And right before he actually does, I think that son of a bitch is gonna sell. It's a damn shame. Nobody will step up to this dude. Everybody was there from the visuals that I got, man, the pics that BC had seen. All the McMahon family was there, man. I mean, you see these pics. See for yourself. Let's start with Triple H. There he is, in attendance for this past week's Raw. He looks nice and comfy. He had two options when Vince McMahon took over NXT. He could stand up to the old bastard in Stanford, or he could sell out, cash in, and laugh all the way to the bank with Vince. He chose option B, and now he no longer cares about anything. It looks like he let himself go. He's grown his hair back. He's got a gut now. Is that even water? It's probably vodka, and I wouldn't blame him. To get through a 3-hour Monday Night Raw show, he's gonna be spritzing vodka. Oh, and then there's Shane McMahon. Look at him. That's where Vince puts his son. He's going to the show, and that's where Vince puts him. And it's probably the best seat in the house, because that wall is probably way more entertaining than 3 hours of Raw. And if he accidentally catches some of the show, he could put his dome piece through that wall. So I'm sure Shane McMahon was just fine with that seat. And Linda McMahon knew exactly how to go through a 3-hour Raw show. Linda McMahon came prepared. Look at Linda. You go, girl. So the family's there, and nobody will stand up to Vince this past Monday, bruh. Oh, but then there's reports that Vinnie Mac wasn't even there Monday. Maybe that's why all the family was there. The old man's not gonna be there? Shit, we can finally go to a show. There's reports that Vince and Bruce Pritchard weren't there. Do you want to know who they said was running the show? Johnny Laurinaitis was running the show. But of course, Vince McMahon. Part of that report is that Vince McMahon held a long meeting earlier in the day and made sure that everything that Vinnie Mac wanted to have happened. And Johnny was just going to be the overseer of everything. That's what I mean, though. When you place the final blame, you could say Brucey, you could say it's Johnny, you could say it's Kevin Dunn. You guys see what Mox said about Dunn? Mox went off on Kevin Dunn in his book. This is what Mox had to say about Kevin Dunn. Check this out. In referencing Kevin Dunn, Mox says, and I quote, "If I had gone in there and been a beep, why didn't he just say beep you? Then you're being a beep? No, he let me go through the whole song and dance while being completely phony, pretending to accept my apology, pretending it was all good and we were friends. Then 5 minutes later, this little beep rat goes right to the rest of the office and says I didn't give a sufficient apology and whatever other beep he probably said about me behind my back, no less. He says, this dickless mother beep, and it was 48 hours later. Why didn't you just call me on the phone right when it happened and say, beep you? We're all mad at you, and if you do it again, you're fired. That would have been easy to understand. Instead, I got summoned to the secret castle to meet the magical king wizard who lives in the truck and controls the universe to beg for forgiveness. What are all these stupid little games? He says the reality in a place like WWE is that one comment, one little seed planted by a guy in Kevin Dunn's position can be extremely detrimental to someone's future there. That's a lot of power, and power breeds ego. Connecticut old rich boys eat club ego. I've heard all kinds of stories about that guy messing with people's careers, but this isn't that kind of book. Suffice to say, that dude is a beep. Maybe this is that kind of book. No, but for real, don't even get me started. No, this is not that kind of book, but beep! Kevin Dunn. Mox held back nothing on Kevin Dunn. That's what I mean. All these wrestlers can tell you all these stories about the yes men. And they hold power and they can tell Vince all of this shit. Vince McMahon at the end of the day is the be-all, end-all. That's why on this channel I solely blame him. Of course the yes men do not help. They don't stand up to him. They feed him everything they want to hear or that Vince wants to hear. And even if they don't, if they go against Vince, Vince is still going to give whatever the fuck he wants to put out there to all of us. It's going to be Vince's way or the highway. The yes men are just spokes on the wheel. The second they get out of hand or out of line, they get replaced with another yes man. We've seen it for 10 fucking years plus. That's what you're gonna get. So Johnny Laurinaitis was overseeing this show. You ain't gonna win until the old bastard is away from that position. If that means selling the company at this point, what other option is left? He doesn't care anymore. He is laughing at his own audience. We are peanuts to him. He's big time now. He's rolling in billions from networks and streaming services in other countries. You don't give a shit about the common folk, the common fan. But these ratings, man, if they keep getting lower and lower, you know what's going to end up happening? The USA Network will stop giving him that money. That's how television works. For everybody that says ratings don't matter, this is where you get exposed. This is where you are wrong. Because this is where the network eventually says, you're not worth all of that money. You're pulling in a 1-2 now, a 1-1. You're not worth all of this money. You're either going to take a great reduction or you're off USA Network. And then you got to shop around. And then other networks are saying, well, why didn't USA Network want you? And then they're seeing that you're around that 1 million mark. Maybe even below within the next 2 years. Nobody is going to want to do business the way that Vince would like to do business. That's where ratings matter. This, right now, that 1-5, that's why it matters. And if it gets just go lower and lower, oh, Vince McMahon is in a whirl of shit. Because he's going to have to sell a lot quicker than he wanted to. Because he's going to have to cash in at the highest point possible. It's like stocks. You don't want to cash in when it's at its lowest. He sees a 1-5 turn to a 1-4 or 1-3. Vince McMahon is going to start to say, shit, we got to get out now. Somebody buy this shit. Because his only other option will be to listen to his fans. And stop cutting people like the Crosses and the Lees and the Wyatts and the Blacks and the Jameses and the Moons. And so many others. Chelsea Green, Mia Yim. They don't even get a chance to show you what they truly have. Not even a damn chance. Frankie Monet, not even a chance. They just released them like nothing. And to fill the time that they could have been giving us some really good shit, they have people chasing around the Fruit Roll-Up Championship. They giggle because Byron Saxton is rolling up actual talents. Or maybe he rolled up Corey Graves. I don't know. The whole thing was such a damn circus. I forgot who was getting rolled up when. I just know there was about 6 roll-ups in one fucking match. But hopefully Vince laughed wherever he was, right? If he giggled, then it was all worth it. I hope he's giggling right now at his 1.5 before he realizes what the hell that means. Maybe it's not so funny. When that hits a 1-4 and it becomes the lowest rated Monday Night Raw of all time. When that happens, don't be too shocked. BC has told you for the past year, because I'm a numbers guy, and for the past year, I have seen the trajectory for WWE heading this way. I told you guys that within the next 2 years, don't be shocked if they're around a 1.2. AEW in the past has already pulled a 1.2 several times, even a 1.4. Don't be shocked if within the next 2 years, AEW passes WWE Raw. Don't be too shocked. BC tried to tell you this was coming, this was going to happen, and all somebody in that company had to do was just listen, because I was trying to help WWE. I wasn't trying to throw shade or fucking bury them. I was trying to have some suit and tie listen. But they didn't want to. They wanted to liquidate. They wanted to run business as they have been the last several years, and now they find themselves with bad publicity for all these releases the same day that they were bragging about all this money that they made. In that conference call, they bragged for hours about how much money they made this past quarter and how much money they're going to make the next quarter. And then, within the next hour after that conference call, they fired almost 20 more talents and 30 more employees at headquarters. So you brag about all this money and then you turn around when people are most desperate, need financial security at the most with what's going on in the world. This is where you decide to do 3 huge rounds of cuts this year. If you add employees, it's nearly 200 people that got affected at a time where you're making some of the best money ever. So you got the bad publicity. Your ratings have tanked to a 1.5, and the trajectory does not look good for the future. The morale backstage, we have heard from numerous reputable sources, is at its lowest. Your product sucks. Your fans aren't engaged. There's no connection. Nothing is captivating. Now I want to see you giggle, Vince, because Byron Saxton won the Fruit Roll-Up Championship, because Doudrop, the drop of dew, wants to dance, because we want water gun fights with John Morrison and The Miz, only when The Miz isn't bouncing around in a bunny rabbit outfit, obviously, and only when John Morrison isn't doing yoga. We want to see Ninja Tozawa dressed up in a trash can, and R-Truth dressed up as in a tree. A fucking tree outfit, tree costume, while they run around a dog park chasing Reginald. But you want to invest all this time in this gimmick tree. You want to give one fruit roll-up after another. You want to give one redundant rematch after one redundant rematch and claim that we're in a new era. Claim that this was a season premiere 2 weeks ago. Claim that you just did a draft and a shakeup just occurred when we're getting the same fucking matches we've seen for years. And then you wonder why that third hour collapsed. Then you wonder why you're at a 1.5. Then you wonder why BC calls you out on that shit. Then you wonder why fans are pissed. Then you wonder why business, when you get down to the keen fan company connection, is at its fucking lowest. Continue to liquidate, Vince. Continue to get every fucking penny from your streaming and your network in your countries, because I'm telling you right now, it's gonna run out when everybody turns around and sees the numbers, sees that there's no connection. Those streaming services, those networks, those countries, they're gonna say, stop! Right there, motherfucker! You ain't getting another dime from us! And when Vince stops getting a dime from all of these other entities, he's gonna turn to us, and he's gonna beg to get back in our good graces. And by then, when he's begging to get back in our good graces, only then are we gonna have to give him the big flip off. Fuck you, dude. It's too late. 1-5 Monday Night Raw. How fucking sad and pathetic. They earned that 1.5. The Amplified, man. Think, be, damn it, live, amplified. Till next time. Yeah, check your leader.